Soulmarks by the Doctor's Wolf. Chapter 7. Leon. Usually, when children were born without soul marks, their parents grieved deeply because they believed that their child would never find a love as deep or whole as their own, if any love at all. Leon's parents weren't like that. Of course, they were upset that their child would most likely never find someone he loved deeply, but they found a silver lining that would shape Leon's life forever. Because they were both extremely loyal to the royal family, especially Uther, they saw Leon as an ideal candidate to become a knight. There would be less people hurt when he had to go away for long periods of time, or if he was killed. Because of the way his parents thought, throughout the first years of Leon's life, he thought it was okay to not have a soul mark, that it wasn't abnormal or something to be ashamed of. It wasn't until he started playing with the children nearby his house that he discovered that he was the only person who didn't have a mark. After he revealed that he had no mark, the other children would always stare at him a bit longer than was normal and would whisper about him behind his back. As he grew up, he never became close friends with anyone because of the lack of a soul mark that alienated him. When his parents began to not so subtly suggest that perhaps training to become a knight would be a good idea, he didn't protest. It was soon discovered that Leon had a natural ability for sword fighting, quick thinking, and all the abilities a good knight had to have. He rose through the ranks of the knights at an unprecedented rate. This, again, prevented him from becoming true friends with anyone, either because he never stayed in one place long enough or because others were jealous of him. He learned from his childhood not to mention his lack of a soul mark and to evade any questions about it when asked. He loved his life as a knight, and told himself that not having friends would be for the best if, when, he died in battle. Leon was chosen to be the one to train the younger Prince Arthur, and, despite their age difference, they became fast friends. None of them spoke about their soul marks, or lack thereof, and they always had fun practicing, as Arthur was quick to become just as much of a protege as Leon was. There was a deep trust that formed over the years of training, sparring, and later battling enemies. After a lifetime of shallow friendships, Arthur became the one person to whom Leon was 100% loyal, even more than the king, although he would never say so, and whom he trusted completely. Leon became the youngest man in history to become the head of all the knights, and had the respect of those that had once despised him. He was always loyal to Arthur, and would always support any decision that he made. Although he first had some doubts when Arthur allowed commoners to become knights, they soon became his group of most trusted friends, including Merlin and Guinevere, whom he knew for most of his life, but had never really spoken to until Elien became a knight and Arthur began courting her. Although Leon originally agreed to become a knight because he never had any close friends, and he thought he never would, he was startled one day by the thought that he had a group that he trusted with his life, that he would give his life for. He realized that despite the fact that he didn't have a soul mark, being a part of the Round Table was almost like having a group of soulmates that he loved and trusted deeply, that not having a soul mark didn't mean that he wasn't allowed to have anybody to care for, or anybody to care for him.